Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Playback Podcast, episode 19. I am here. Let me just make sure that is stopped. I'm here with Hauder, sitting across from me. Beautiful.
Hello.
Looking fly as ever. I like your shirt.
Thank you. I like your face.
All right. My name is Noah. Welcome to the Playback Podcast. You guys can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. My mic fell. Shit.
Oh, mine was doing the same thing earlier.
Yeah. YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Go ahead and subscribe if you guys don't want to miss any other uploads. We upload every single week, talking about some movies and movie news. Today we have a lot of stuff to talk about, but like it's a slow week in some sorts. We have about 3 projects to review, and then we have a bunch of movie news. So we're going to try to get through that. Anything you want to say before we just hop in? You know what? Let's just talk real quick. Let's just talk. How you doing?
I'm doing a lot better than last week. I fixed it. I maybe fixed
your
it.
car?
Yes. It was an alternator issue that cost a lot of money.
So you got it like fixed with insurance or what?
No, it wasn't like an insurable thing. It was just like I had to get it fixed. But I'm good. I watched Secret Invasion last night and then both the movies today. So, good way to spend time.
So, in this episode, we're going to be talking about Secret Invasion Episode 1. We're going to be reviewing Asteroid City. Hauder watched that, and we both watched No Hard Feelings, the new comedy starring Jennifer Lawrence. We both really liked it, spoiler, but we both really liked it, and we're going to be talking a little bit about that. Do you want to jump into some movie news real quick?
Yeah, before that, though, how are you?
Oh, I'm good, man. Thanks for asking, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The setup process for this podcast is getting so much easier. I don't know if you, I know you remember, but I don't know if anybody else remembers the first video podcast that we did was, it took like an hour and a half just to get everything set up. Now, boom, 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 boom. Everything's fucking ready. Mm-hmm. Ready throughout, like.
Just wait, guys. We'll get our studio. Then it'll be easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were supposed to have our first guests today. But I'm not going to lie, I canceled it last minute because I definitely was not ready to handle all that. Stress-wise, I needed to have another camera. I needed to find my other microphone, which I do not know where that is. How do we sound? Let us know in the comment section because I want to know if I can, if I have a reason to upgrade to the Shure SM7Bs. Mm-hmm. You know what those are?
Other than just assuming they're better mics, yeah.
It's like the like most popular
drop
microphone.
Down from the roof,
yeah, like WWE. Yeah. But yeah, I hope everything sounds and looks fine. I know a lot of people are liking the new format. That's nice. I'm very proud. I feel good about this, man. Episode 19, 19 weeks straight we've been doing this. Next week's gonna be episode 20 if you can count, because 19 plus 1 is 20.
Yeah.
So that checks out, right? I don't know. I'm liking it. I hope you guys are liking it. Mm-hmm. What else, man? Let's just not talk. I don't want to talk about movie news. Let's just talk. Gay son or thought daughter?
Don't do this again.
All right.
Gay son.
Yeah. Well, okay. Last week I had to edit something out from.
I'll say it again.
Yeah, I know. Please, no.
I didn't say anything stupid. It was just like a comment we can't make.
Yeah, not nowadays, probably.
Yeah. Whoa, don't do that.
Not without problems. Real quick, how does it sound right now?
To me, it sounds fine.
Okay, because I'm getting like an echo. So go ahead and talk real quick.
All right, it sounds good to me. I think we're gonna talk about movie news first, but do we want to do Secret Invasion or the movie reviews?
We'll do movie news and then we'll talk about Secret Invasion.
Okay.
And then we'll talk about
I'll give a little like
Asteroid City.
Okay.
And then we'll talk about Noa and Hauder feelings. But yeah, man. All right. Well,
there's
nothing else to talk about.
Movie news.
Yeah, movie news. So, I think the biggest piece of news that came out probably in the last week is that actors were put into pairs for screen testing today for Superman Legacy, the upcoming DCU reboot of the Superman character, with David Cornsweet and Emma Mackey being the frontrunners at the moment. Sources also confirmed that 2 new frontrunners for Lex Luthor have appeared in that of Alexander and Bill Skarsgård. I want to talk about that real quick. But first, with David Cornsweet and Emma Mackey, I think that's perfect. I just told you before we started that they both look like the 1978 Superman cast.
Mm-hmm.
And from what James Gunn is talking about with his Superman Legacy movie, it seems like that's what they're trying to go for. It's a more hopeful, bright, happy Superman. Man of Steel was obviously a little bit less. It was more dark. And I feel like the direction that they're going to, it's going to mimic a little bit more of the 1978 Superman. What do you think of these pairings? Because there were some more. I don't know if you have those, but I didn't write those down. What do you think of the pairings?
I thought they were good. I called one of them. I don't remember if it was actually on the episode or not, but I called Nicholas Hoult and his pairing. So that was good. I do think it's going to be David Cornsweet, though, now that I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll be... he's with Emma Mackey, right?
Yeah. So David Cornsweet is with Emma Mackey, I believe. What's the other guy's name? Tim something. It's the British dude.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's with Phoebe Bridger, apparently. And then I believe Nicholas Hoult is. Let me fact check.
I don't think it's Phoebe Bridger.
Yeah, Phoebe Bridger, not Phoebe Bridger. Let me fact check real quick. Make sure I get this right.
I know it's Nicholas Hoult and then Rachel, and I cannot pronounce her last name.
Rachel Brosnahan.
I can't pronounce her last name. There's too many H's in there. I'm gonna sound like super Middle Eastern if I do that.
I showed you, or you looked up a picture of Emma Mackey and then the person from 1978 who played
Lois Lane. Yeah,
Lois Lane.
They look pretty much exactly the same.
Exactly the same. Yeah.
I think it's hair and everything, casting. But I think that's her normal hair. It's Emma Mackey's normal hair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I haven't seen these two actors act before, so I'm basically just going off looks right now. However, I am very excited for it. And James Gunn is a great director, so I think that he can make anybody act good because he did very well with Dave Bautista.
Mm-hmm. More about the Lex Luthor stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think it just depends on who they cast for Superman before they cast Lex Luthor. I think
Phoebe Denever, not Phoebe Bridger.
Okay, yeah, I know.
Phoebe Denever is with Tom Brittney, who is the dude who just came out of nowhere in the last 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
And then Nicholas Hoult and Rachel Brosnahan are paired together as well.
Yes. Okay. So I figured if it's gonna be Nicholas Hoult and Rachel Brosnahan, it'll most likely be Alexander Skarsgård, because he fits them more age wise.
I feel like Alexander Skarsgård should be the front runner.
Yeah, I do too. But that's if they're going for a more how do I explain a less menacing Lex Luthor.
It depends, but I feel like with Nicholas Hoult, if he plays Superman, which I don't think he's going to,
neither do I.
But if Nicholas Hoult plays Superman, I feel like the best casting for Lex Luthor with that would be Bill Skarsgård, because I feel like that is just different enough on both sides. If you're going you want this hopeful Superman, then I think it's going to be David Cornsweet, and then Alexander Skarsgård was not someone that I thought. But he's obviously from The Northman, and he's really, really good in that. So he plays more of a menacing kind of... It just depends, like how you said, what they want to make Lex Luthor in this universe. I'm sure they have big plans for him, but I still like Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor.
I do too.
Yeah,
I like the idea of a hopeful Superman and then a really menacing Lex Luthor.
I'm not too I haven't watched a lot of Superman movies, so I just need to see a good Lex Luthor. And you haven't seen Batman vs Superman, have you?
Not yet.
Yeah, so the Lex Luthor in there
isn't it Jesse Eisenberg?
Yeah, he's completely different from what everybody else talks about Lex Luthor and the other ones.
Yeah, he has hair.
He's a lot of hair, yeah, which is weird. Okay, let's move on. This is a small piece of news, but Coraline, one of the greatest animated movies, in my opinion. Yes.
No, I was actually just coughing.
Right. Coraline is re-releasing in theaters for 2 nights in August. Again, this isn't huge news. I love this movie, and I definitely will be in attendance. It's behind Fantastic Mr. Fox. I think Coraline is my second favorite. And I know, coughing again? I know Mariano will appreciate this piece of movie news as well. So, have you seen Coraline before?
Yes, I have. It was really creepy for me. I did not like it.
Yeah, no, it's a weird kind of movie, but
That's not claymation, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, that's why I didn't like it. I don't claymation like gets me like I don't know, something about claymation just
The heebie-jeebies.
yeah. And the button eyes.
The button, the other mother is probably one of the scariest antagonists I've ever seen for an animated movie. But I love that movie, so I think I'm gonna buy a ticket. All right, next piece of news: The Flash dropped 72% in its second domestic weekend, only raking in $15.3 million, certifying this as a huge box office bomb. No Hard Feelings, for a point of reference, made $15.1 million this weekend. What do you think was the biggest problem for this movie bombing so hard? Because honestly, I thought it was going to make like 600 at least, maybe 700 million, but it fucking sucked at the box office. What do you think is the biggest problem?
I think it's two things. I think it's that fact that they had the one they couldn't avoid. Universe ended, so desire to want to watch the movie kind of went away, and then word of mouth. Yeah. Although a lot of people did like the movie, a lot of people also didn't. And that like causes a big thing.
It's very mixed. I mean, it's at a 60-something%, like mid-60s on Rotten Tomatoes. So like only 60% of the people liked it, 40% didn't. I don't know. I think the biggest problem. I mean, you know, obviously Ezra Miller, but like thinking about other stuff, you know, this controversy never stopped a lot of people from watching big time movies like this. I think it might be the word of mouth because they released a bunch of early looks at this movie and people got their hands on screenshots of like Ezra Miller putting a baby in a microwave, and that spread like wildfire. And then like early looks at the CGI and what it looked like. Again, I stand by the CGI. It looks fine at some aspects. But then again, you know, Twitter is ruthless and everybody was clowning the fuck out of the movie. And then like you said, it's a dead universe.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the biggest thing, honestly, because there's like, what's the point? It's like when you hear like your show is getting canceled. There's no point in watching.
Yeah, another thing is that the last couple DCEU movies weren't that great.
Yeah, so like that's another thing. It's just like, it's like what's the point of watching this movie? Yeah. Also, did you hear about the Twitter thing? About how the whole entire movie was on for like 8 hours.
Mm-hmm. I wish I would have watched it because I did not want to go to a movie theater again to see it.
You said you were definitely watching it though.
No, yeah, I definitely would, but like being lazy and like having a kid, I would rather just watch it on Twitter. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, but yeah, it was on there for 8 hours, 8 to 9 hours. So a lot of people did watch it that way too. Apparently.
It sucks, man, because there were a lot of talented filmmakers behind that movie. Like not just Ezra Miller, but I mean like Michael Keaton, Sasha Kaye. Like I feel like they deserve some big box office wins for what they did for the movie. And then of course Andy Muschietti.
Yeah, it's unfair. The negative aspect for this is a lot of people that didn't like this movie were going to be the anti DC people. Mm-hmm. People are more like really pro Marvel and anti DC. Mm-hmm. The same way that you get that for Marvel movies, you get the people who are pro like DC and anti Marvel.
And the Snyder Universe.
Yeah, might like try to like run out. It's not going to happen because James Gunn doesn't give a fuck about their opinion. But try to like, Andy Muschietti's not going to do good in this movie for Brave and the Bold, just because of the way that this movie ended up coming out for him.
Here's a follow-up question. I mean, the next couple DCEU projects that come out, and that's it, is going to be Blue Beetle and then Aquaman. I mean, what do you see them making at the box office now?
I don't see the Blue Beetle like spreading like wildfire, but I don't see it being a bomb at all. I see it making its money back.
Okay. Their budget is at like 160. Let me just double check. But you're thinking like 320, 300?
Like 300, 400.
I don't know because I feel like for me at least the Blue Beetle marketing wasn't very captivating, and it kind of just feels like they're throwing it out there, see how much money we can make. Okay, so it made 120, so roughly 250 it needs to make.
Yeah, I think
make some profit.
I think it can make some profit. Aquaman, though, I think is going to be a loss.
Yeah, let's check Aquaman real quick, see how much. Because the last Aquaman movie made $1 billion, which I still don't know how because I actually really disliked that movie a lot. I thought it was cheesy. I thought it was badly paced and just, yeah, I didn't like that one. But this Aquaman movie is costing $205 million. I do not see Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, especially when it's going to be the last DCEU movie coming out. I don't see it making.
I think based on the time it comes out, also.
Yeah, I mean it's coming out. Let's see, December 20th, 2023.
Yes, you're coming around Christmas, and that's when a lot of movies are probably going to drop.
That's true. That is true.
So you got competition. Your universe is dying. You have backlash from your last movie being pretty bad. And again, what's the point of watching this movie?
Yeah,
Especially since it's almost confirmed he's not coming back as Aquaman.
almost. Yeah.
Yeah.
My whole thing was that like, you know, to the point of what's the point of watching the movie if the universe is dying? My point was always that, well, you're there to watch a good movie. It doesn't matter like what happens next. I'm not there for the post credit scene. I'd rather have because like if that's the case, then Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, I would have loved that movie because of the post credit scenes, right? Because it set up what's next in the universe, and you know, just that was not a good movie. So I think that with Aquaman, I mean, if it's a great movie, then that's cool. I don't care if you dropped your pencil. I don't care if what do you call it? If it doesn't set anything up in the future. Same goes for Flash. I mean, I really enjoyed that movie. I don't care if the universe is dying, but not everybody thinks that way.
Yeah, that's what I was arguing. I also agree with you. Like, if it's most movies are standalone until the end credit scenes now.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of people want to see what's next.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, Flash dropping 72%. That's really bad, and I believe it just crossed over 200 million, which is crazy. Across the Spider-Verse also retook the weekend at the box office, coming in at number 1, making $19 million this weekend. So yay for Spider-Verse. More box office news before we hop into our movie reviews. Wes Anderson, on the other hand, scores the biggest domestic box office opening of his career with Asteroid City, bringing in $9 million over the course of the weekend. I personally think it's because, number one, it's Wes Anderson, and you know, he's a great filmmaker, but also number two, there was a TikTok challenge going around, and not a TikTok challenge, but like, I don't know if you're on filmmaker like TikTok, but like everybody is doing
The Wes Anderson
the
shots.
Wes Anderson shots. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I saw that.
Yeah, and I feel like that it kind of, you know, made its money for Asteroid City. Also, it's a good movie apparently, according to you. And yeah, man, $9 million, the biggest opening box office of his career. Pretty impressive. You said that you were gonna watch, or you were more interested now in watching Isle of Dogs and Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Well, I always meant to get around to them, but I never did. But now, I'm definitely watching that. He also announced the next movie.
Did it?
No title to it yet, but it's a spy movie with Benicio del Toro starring, and the twist is that he's in every single shot.
Wow.
That's the next movie.
Okay. Yeah, I like Wes Anderson. I honestly like a little more of his animation stuff, and I haven't seen too much of his live action stuff. However,
I'm the opposite. I've
Yeah,
seen all
really?
his live action stuff.
yeah. So, with that being said, that's it for movie news. There's probably still more to talk about. We can talk about that next time. But I feel like this is a good segue. Let's talk about Asteroid City. I know Haider watched Asteroid City earlier today with Cybeth and Andrew. What did you think of Asteroid City?
All right, just going to say a few things because we do have two a little longer reviews to talk about. A very colorful movie. That threw me off because a lot of the stuff was like sort of neutral toned, but like it starts off in black and white, and then it switches to like a really colorful. It's in like 1950, so that was cool to see. It was like all very artsy, colorful shot, and it looked like the backdrop to Looney Tunes, you know, where the Roadrunner, and there was actually a Roadrunner. Like it was a little Roadrunner just running across the street the whole time.
Really?
Yeah, and it looked like the backdrop to that. It takes place in like the middle of a crater. A town right outside the middle of a crater. It was nothing I thought it would be. Actually, I'm not gonna spoil it, but it's like a twist immediately into the movie. It's announced as the twist essentially, because it's not said in the trailer. At least I don't think it is.
I feel like the trailers mostly showcased like the style of the movie, and that's it. Like I got no story from it, you know. That being said,
that's the thing
good.
is it was like two stories mixed in.
Okay.
So that's the part that was cool. This is definitely like Wes Anderson though.
Yeah.
Just like all the way through. Obviously, you know, he directed the movie, but like Everything about it was like, oh yeah, he did this.
Yeah.
He even includes a little bit of animation in the movie. So that was cool. But the cast, all the really big stars in the movie had like pretty minimal parts, minus like Scarlett Johansson.
Mm-hmm. Jason Schwartzman, Scarlett Johansson, Tom Hanks, Jeffrey Wright, Tilda Swinton, Bryan Cranston, Ed Norton, Adrian Brody, Liev Schreiber, Hope Davis, Steve Park, Rupert Friend, Maya Hawke, Steve Carell, Matt Dillon, Willem Dafoe, Hong Chow, Margot Robbie, Tony Revolori, Jake Ryan, and Jeff Goldblum are all starring. But it's a huge ensemble cast, and I really want to watch this, man.
Yeah. I think you should. Yeah, it was just a really like well-directed movie. The pacing of the movie was really good. It was only an hour and 40 minutes, so it wasn't that long.
Mm-hmm. He does this a lot. From what I've seen, he splits up his movies into acts. So like Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. Does he do that in this?
He not only acts though. That was the part that got me excited. So he does split it up into acts, but he also goes Act 1, Scene 1 through 3, and then he'll split it. He even put an intermission in the movie.
Wow, how long was the intermission though?
Like 30 seconds, but
okay.
He said it on
like
on the Playboy. It said like 30 minutes.
That's pretty cool, actually.
You'll never get like the end of the movie. If you're not like into like film or like plays and stuff, the end of the movie's confusing, and it was a really really smart way to end a movie.
Okay.
That's pretty much it. I'd give this like a 9 out of 10.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so definitely one of the better movies of the year.
What do you think was keeping it from 10 out of 10?
Just the way the story was confusing. I can tell it was on purpose, but I just didn't enjoy that the story was that confusing.
Okay. Well, I definitely need to watch this. I know that I tried watching. What was his last one that he did?
Wasn't his last one Grand Budapest?
No, he did another one that released during COVID. French Dispatch. Yeah. So that came out, and we actually left the theater, not because the movie was bad or anything, but because we just wanted to do something else. But yeah, French Dispatch was the last movie that I tried watching from him, and even that, like, I watched 30 minutes and I thought it was really interesting. So I definitely got to watch this. Glad you liked it. Glad you liked it, buddy. Anything else you want to say about Asteroid City?
If you're debating on watching a movie, I would say either watch No Hard Feelings or Asteroid City, because those are two really good movies and they're worth watching.
Well, hey, I watched No Hard Feelings.
That's funny. I actually watched that today.
Really? You watched that? Oh, okay. So let's talk about it. No Hard Feelings came out this weekend. As I said, it made $15 million at the box office, which is really good, actually. It only had like a $100 million budget or something like that. Even lower, maybe. But it stars Jennifer Lawrence, and this is one of her smaller roles, but like it's also a more significant role because she's never done like a R-rated comedy like this before. And it's also significant because we don't get these kind of movies anymore. These R-rated comedies that, you know, kind of push the limit a little bit on what you're watching on screen. It's directed by Gene Stupnitsky, same guy who did Good Boys. I love Good Boys. Came out in 2019, which is, in my opinion, one of the best movie years of all time. And I really enjoyed this movie. So, if you don't know, because this is a smaller movie, if you don't know, it stars Jennifer Lawrence as a down-on-her-luck young Uber driver / bartender. And she answers a listing on Craigslist to date an introverted 19-year-old. In order to get him out of his shell prior to college. Get him out of his shell, basically meaning have sex with him.
Pretty much.
It's a very weird concept because Jennifer Lawrence plays a 32-year-old in this movie. By the way, there's going to be spoilers for this. It's a smaller movie. I mean, we just kind of want to talk about it. 32 years old. She is, hired to date a awkward, introverted 19-year-old, and date basically means have sex with him. Yeah, what'd you think about this movie? Because I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it a lot.
Straight into spoilers or non? You want to go non-spoiler first?
Well, yeah, I'd talk about the movie a little bit before you talk about the ending.
I think it was like very effortlessly funny.
Effortlessly funny, huh?
Mm-hmm. Like it did not feel forced.
Nothing they said either kind of felt like they were telling a joke. It just felt like they were just being them.
Yeah.
Especially with the kid played by Andrew Barth Feldman.
Didn't it feel like his comedy was like a building. Like he wasn't funny at first. Like he wasn't trying to be funny at first, but then he was like slipping in jokes and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, and I really like what they did with his character too. Not only like he wasn't just like this awkward kid for an hour and 45 minutes. You know, he was kind of like he had his own character arc in it.
Yeah, you could feel him like coming out of a shell.
Yeah, the movie was about him coming out of his shell before college, and there's some twists and stuff we'll talk about later. But overall, I think the movie was really good. Jennifer Lawrence, what did you think about her?
I think that I kind of hope she sticks to comedies.
Yeah,
she did really fucking good.
I really want her to do more comedies.
Yes. I think this was like a good example of the type of comedies that we should be getting though.
Yeah.
Where it's not, oh my god, shock and awe comedy. This is like a fucking good story.
And there's a lot of stuff in this movie, right? There's like, we have basically a groomer, you know, we have full frontal nudity, which I haven't seen in like, oh, there's a spider on the wall.
Nice. Hi, friend.
Hold on. No, should I get it now?
Nah, get it later.
I'm not going to find it later, bro.
Kill it. We'll take a break. I'll talk about it.
All right. Yeah, talk
All
about
right. A couple other things I enjoyed was I feel like every character was written well, even if they had a small part. A lot of characters only had a few lines. Like he had a nanny, had a great couple lines. He popped up in the movie like once or twice. The way they set the movie was very well done. What are you doing? Oh yeah, it was set in oh my god, what was the name of the town? I forgot the name of the town.
I don't know.
All right, well, it's set in New York, in like a rural part of New York. Montauk, that's what it is. It was set in Montauk. Oh, I'm not scared of spiders.
Okay.
Okay, well, set in Montauk, New York. They have a lot of landscape shots. Oh fuck, someone died.
Oh my god, they found me.
No, you just killed a spider.
Yeah, I know I killed a spider.
Live television. All right. Oh yeah, so they have a lot of landscape shots, especially towards the end of the movie where there's like a little like montage going on. That's pretty much it. It was an original story. The music was really good in it. Specifically one scene that I'm assuming we're gonna talk about.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, Matthew Broderick, for those who don't know, is Ferris Bueller. He looks really old in this, but it was nice seeing his face in a movie. I really want to talk about Jennifer Lawrence and this kid who plays what's his name?
Percy.
Percy, yeah. And sorry, let me catch my breath.
Take time.
Their performances were really good. And they actually had chemistry for someone who was, 19 years old, and Jennifer Lawrence, who's, a lot older, 30s. They actually have chemistry. And this is like a romantic comedy, which, we'll talk about in like literally 2 minutes. But I think that overall the movie worked. It's supposed to be like this sex comedy, this R-rated comedy between an older woman and a younger kid who needs some help getting out of his shell. And I think it worked. I think they did it. And this movie had a lot more heart than I thought it was going to have. I went in this thinking like, oh shit, it's going to be like, Jennifer Lawrence making a bunch of sex jokes and being super funny and this kid being super awkward. But no, there's a lot more depth to it. And when I got in there, I realized that in my opinion, I feel like it was like 75% comedy and like 25% drama, which is a really nice surprise because, with the trailers, it looked like it was like 90% to 95% comedy. And I like the fact that we have a movie like this releasing. That's pretty much it, man. I think that for me, No Hard Feelings is like a 8.5 out of 10. I'll put 8.5 out of 10.
I gave it like an 8 out of 10. It was really good. I also put that it felt like it had a lot of heart.
Yeah, it was like, those are the movies that I love, and especially for comedy because, it's funny, but I like a good story, and I like rooting for good characters, and I think that's what No Hard Feelings does really well. With that being said, let's talk about some spoilers. You want to talk about something?
I want to go with legit the start of the movie, the tow truck.
Spoiler alert.
Start, like, how it was the tow truck swinging. That was a really funny start, especially because
the transition.
A transition from that, and then he's like just starts towing her car. I'm gonna fucking slaughter this man's name, but his name is Gary in the movie. It's played by Ebon Moss.
Okay.
Backrack, I think is what it's called, because it's like legit like CHARCH. That's how it's a Backrack is what I'm gonna say. Ebon Moss Backrack. He's in The Bear.
Oh, is he?
He plays the older brother, which I need to watch The Bear too. I keep forgetting to watch that.
Yeah.
But they have like she ghosted him a while back. That whole conversation was hilarious because she starts to like gaslight him, and he starts to believe her, and he looks up. European guy, massive dick
in a fucking Speedo, just doing squats in the background. I love this. Okay, because like to me, this opening scene wasn't like completely funny because they kind of spoiled it in the trailer. And like that whole scene was like the opening scene for the trailer. But what you didn't get was like some of this dialogue between Gary and what's Jennifer Lawrence's name? Maddie? Yeah. You got this like dialogue between Gary and Maddie, basically with Gary telling Maddie like how she is. Like she doesn't give a fuck about anybody. She uses guys like for sex and that's it. And she just, has no attachment. She has like really bad attachment issues. And that plays into the rest of the movie when you start learning about shit with her dad, and then like, oh, why is she fighting so hard to get this car? Oh, because she is an Uber driver. She needs to do Uber, and then she needs to fucking save her house. And it's just this whole thing that I didn't think I would get out of this movie, right? Yeah, Maddie, really good character. I think that the premise worked, okay? Because like when you try to explain this movie to someone, hey, let's go watch this movie about this girl who wants to fuck a 19-year-old for a car. Someone would look at you like, that's a porno, right? Like that's you just described a porno. The whole like setup to the plot, I think worked really well, especially with the inclusion of the two friends, and then again like the backstory with Maddie's mom and the house. I think it worked. I can totally believe that someone would do this. I can also totally believe that two parents would actually do this and think that it's beneficial for their kid, because helicopter parents are a real thing, and people have done this, and this is actually based on a fucking true story. Someone actually did this. And like I said before, Matthew Broderick, he plays one of the parents, and they go in, and it's like it makes sense. I buy into it immediately, and then it just sets up for all the other comedy shit that happens throughout the movie. So
yeah, for me, one of the most subtle parts of it was the use of foreshadowing in this movie, because like you said, Gary in the beginning starts talking about how she only uses guys. Whenever she gets scared, she runs away. The first time they meet, there's a song we can play in the background. It's called that song, the Maneater song. And he talks about how that song used to give him nightmares because he thought it was about a monster.
Oh, Maneater?
Yeah. And she's like, no, that's not what it's about, because that's legit her.
It's just smart writing.
Yes. And then further down the line, they go on a date, or they go on prom.
Oh, dude, I fucking love that scene so much.
I was going to talk about, I don't know if that's him singing or not, but if it is, that motherfucker needs to be an actual singer, because that shit was really good.
Yeah. And I love the fact that, again, like this kid is just marketed as like this awkward teenager, right? In about to go to college in the trailers. And in the movie, you see something completely different. Like to me, I don't see an awkward teenager. I see this kid who's like kind of went through a little bit of trauma, and like he doesn't want to kind of open himself up to other people. And there's a lot of hidden like talent and shit, because like when we first get introduced to the son, we see him playing video games on his phone with the dogs or whatever.
Yeah.
And then later down the line, when it comes to that scene, and he's talking about his future and shit, and then he sees like his college roommate or whatever the fuck she was, and then he starts playing piano and Maneater, and like it was a fucking beautiful ass scene. And the camera kind of lingers on Jennifer Lawrence, and she's just like thinking about her life, and it's good writing when we look at her just like listening to what what's his name, Percy, what Percy is playing, and it just lingers on her face, and you see a tear, and we know exactly what she's thinking about too. It's just smart writing, and I feel like that's what we've been missing in comedies nowadays. Smart ass fucking writing. What else?
Let's talk about the probably the most comical scene in the movie. So when she first meets him, he's volunteering at a dog
Dog
society.
shelter.
Dog shelter, yes. She walks up to him. She like convinces him to go on a ride with her.
Mm-hmm.
Says she's gonna drive him home. And to him, everything. And his friend. His friend's name is Crispin, which, by the way, my favorite side character in the movie. Crispin. That man was a real one throughout the entire movie. He takes her on. She puts him in a van. Mm-hmm. And to a kid who's like fresh out of high school, she got put in a van by an older woman who was basically just like all up on him talking about sex. He thought he was about to get raped.
Yeah, and that's like the innocence of this character too, which is like it's refreshing because the stigma is that like, oh, if like older women did it for younger guys, they wouldn't. No. This kid is like a really good kid. He's innocent and he has fucking mace and all of these like the sexual innuendo that she's putting down on him at the dog shelter. He doesn't even fucking pick up on. Like he's too slow or at least like just too innocent to even get that he's getting hit on. And it really built up his character too because spoiler, I'm glad that they didn't have sex.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm like I get he's an adult, he's 19. Technically. Yeah, technically, but he thinks it counts. I'm glad they didn't have sex. Mm-hmm. And it this movie could have been super creepy.
Yeah, they could have had sex.
They could have had sex, especially with all the shit that Jennifer Lawrence is like saying in the movie. They could have had sex and they could have like played on the fact that she's 32 years old and doing this for a car. I absolutely love how they took the characters because what's his name? Percy, he finds out that it was all fake and it was all like a job or whatever. And it actually hurts him. And you kind of feel that. And there's this one shot of him just like laying down in the bed and it just like kind of turned.
And the tears.
Yeah, and you see a tear fall. It's like I didn't expect to see any of this in a fucking R-rated comedy. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, I like how they handled all that stuff. What about you?
It was really good. It was a nice touch, especially because like you can see the two motivations. Like he doesn't know what's going on. She's trying to force him, and then you get Crispin, who's like, "Are you trying to kidnap my friend?"
Yeah.
Let's talk about the full nudity scene.
Yeah, so they go skinny dipping right after they agree.
Their first date, right?
Yeah, so they agree to. So basically, she kidnaps him, quote unquote, in the van, right? And he maces her, and then she's screaming with mace in her eye, talking about in front
of her house too, I think.
Yeah, no, I just liked you, and he goes, oh, okay, well, let's go on a date. So they set up a date, and then they go to a bar. He's not legal to drink. I thought that scene was really funny.
Yeah, because I don't know about you, but you know places like that where they're like, oh yeah, you've lived here your whole life, fuck it, like.
Yeah, we don't care, like we trust you.
Yeah.
That like whoever you bring in is gonna be 21 or legal enough to drink. The iced tea bit, I mean, that just worked.
Because I mean, if you aren't like a bartender or bar trained or drink, you don't know that a Long Island iced tea is.
It's not actual iced tea.
Any tea at all in it. Yeah.
So yeah, I thought that was funny, and then they have more character building moments because one of Maddie's ex-boyfriends come in and they have this whole scene or whatever.
And he like warns her again. This is the third time because you get three like ideas that this is what she does.
Mm-hmm. And then what caught me a little bit too was that they actually had a conversation about that afterward, where Percy is like, why would you have sex with him if you didn't like him, and like just keeps pressing the issue on her. And just it starts to be, what are you doing?
Just playing with my pen.
Oh, I thought you were like trying to get something off your sweats.
No.
What was I saying?
Conversation.
The conversation. Yeah, the conversation between them. It again plays off the innocence of Percy, and also it shows us a little bit about what Maddie does in her spare time.
Yeah. And
then the skinny dipping scene. They leave the bar, and they go to the beach. She's still trying to have sex with this kid, by the way. So that's her motivation at the time. And then they go skinny dipping at the beach.
I think that my favorite part about the leaving the bar scene, though, is she hit him with the line, "Let's get out of here." And he thought, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
We get to go.
Yeah. I know you would enjoy it because at the beach during the skinny dipping scene, some teenagers come out and steal their clothes, and we get a kind of full frontal scene that we haven't seen in a really long time.
Mm-hmm. I
of Jennifer Lawrence, but there was one in particular, like one thing that I thought you would like, and it's not sexual. It's this fucking I don't know what you call it in wrestling, but she like
suplexed the guy.
Yeah, suplexed him, and like completely uses her action skills because she's a fucking action star. Like she was Mystique, she was in Red Sparrow and Hunger Games. Yeah. So like she's an action fucking star. I'm glad that she got a little bit of action here, and she
was fighting 3 people at the same time while naked.
Yes, it was fucking badass. And
I like that you got the classic like guy getting into a fight scene, and someone's at their crotch.
Yeah. Oh god, she got punched in the vagina like 5 times too.
Yeah, and then Percy, who couldn't see any of this, he's like, "Yeah, I heard them screaming. Are they okay?"
Yeah. So let's just skip over because I mean we could talk about this movie like just nitpick it a little bit, but let's just talk about the where it kind of twists. I wouldn't say a plot twist, but like
you saw it going that way the whole time.
Yeah, like Percy finally finds out, oh shit, my parents are doing this, and also Percy falls in love with Maddie, with Jennifer Lawrence, and I thought that was an interesting way to take it, and it worked too. Again, because like, yeah, this kid is innocent. Like I'm gonna keep saying it. This kid is innocent. He's gonna think he's falling in love, and I love the fact that they like took time to show that Maddie like actually was starting to care about this kid, not just using him for a car, but it was completely obvious that she didn't really even want to have sex with him. She kind of just like she understood that this kid was so nice and like deserved so much more, and she started feeling bad about what she was doing, and eventually they end up becoming friends in the end. I like the movie a lot.
I like that after he finds out. There's 2 parts I liked about that he starts going into like full on like scorned mode, destroys the car, like sets her up to meet like the parents. Drinks, gets really drunk in front of his parents. Yeah. And he's like, you know what, I might as well hit one time. Yeah. And then nuts on touch.
Okay, look, even at that point, it seemed like she didn't even want to do it.
Yeah, no, she definitely didn't.
Yeah,
but she didn't like want to hurt his feelings either.
Yeah. At that point, she was already going to get the car, right? And her intentions were good, I guess. This kid nut like immediately in her thigh, apparently.
Hey, just like me. Oh, you're telling me saying that like you'd give Jennifer Lawrence the work? Relax.
What? I didn't say anything.
Yeah. I think my favorite part is when
yeah, let's just change that topic.
Gary drops the car off, and then he goes, "Some things are built to last. Not us, though." Walks away. What?
Yeah.
She's like, I didn't say anything.
Overall, I think the movie worked for me because of the chemistry and the way that they developed the characters of these two characters, the lead characters. And I'm really glad. Again, I'm just really glad we got a movie like this. I feel like they should make more because once again, it could have been super fucking creepy. It could have been a super, super, super creepy fucking movie. They eventually get they what do you call it? They become friends.
That was the better part of the ending because they could have made them get into a relationship.
Yeah, and I'm glad they didn't. Yeah. Because again, it would have been fucking creepy.
Yes. Then again, they did throw it like a little like curveball because they had that one guy who got into the relationship with the teacher. Hassan Minaj, who's Doug, the real estate agent.
Oh yeah.
Gets into a relationship with them. They're like, oh yeah, that was a 40-year age gap. I like that they don't really do this in movies a lot. They made her fix all her problems by herself.
Yeah.
So after she like found all that stuff, she got the car. She started Ubering again. She paid off all her bills, and then she ends up selling her house. But then finding a solution to treat her friends better too, she ends up selling the house to their friend.
Yeah. And then she finally comes out of her shell and she moves to California. So happy ending overall. And apparently this kid loses his virginity because he says it counts in the end.
After he crashes his car into the ocean.
Right. Oh, that was so stupid. I was like, why are you still driving, dude? Just fucking slam on the brakes. Anyway.
Hey, he had a mission.
He did have a mission. But yeah, man, that is No Hard Feelings. We really enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm gonna give it like an 8.5 out of 10.
An 8 out of 10. It was really good.
Yeah.
I would watch it again.
Yeah, I'd watch it again too. Very funny. Were you in theater 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird. it was weird to be in theater one for like a small movie like that because there was only like 7 other people, and in that instance, I would want to be in the smaller theater because like I want to hear other people laugh and I want to hear like the reactions of other people.
I was in a theater with more people.
Okay.
I had like 20, 30 people in my theater.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had like 7.
Apparently, never mind. I won't say that part. I'll tell you later. Yes, I'll tell you later.
What?
Somebody was there, but I'll tell you about it later.
In
My theater, yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So. No, you don't know. That's,
Oh, never mind.
no, what the hell are you talking
Never
about?
mind. Never
You
mind.
know.
Never mind. Sorry.
All right.
Sorry, guys.
All right, but yeah, 8 out of 10. And now, I think we just transitioned. Talk about Secret Invasion.
Yeah, okay. So, another thing that we watched throughout the week since we last talked to you guys was Secret Invasion. It's the Nick Fury series, basically, on Disney+. Disney Plus, for me, hasn't really had the best track record on projects, She-Hulk being one of the more disappointing ones. But we finally got a Nick Fury project, and episode 1 came out. What do you think of it? Because I just want to go to you real quick.
This is like more down my type of like show. It's sort of a spy kind of action packed show with a lot of like intel like gathering, a lot of like twists and turns in the show. Especially already in the first episode, you get like 3 or 4 twists. You get a lot of action, a lot of sad scenes. And they get like humor mixed in and around there. I actually like the way it's going. The only like negative thing I've really seen about it so far was the intro, which again
For those who don't know, it's an AI generated intro.
I think about it a different way though.
Yeah, I don't think of it as like, oh, it's stealing art. It's an artistic choice.
Yeah, but I think about it as what do the scrolls do?
They steal.
What the fuck's AI? It's just a mixture of like things that they've seen mixed together.
And I get it. Like they chose to do AI because of the themes of the show. They said, like, literally the creator said, it kind of just matches the theme of the show. And I agree. It's different when this is just a conversation about AI, but it's just different when you like use AI to like write a whole movie and then like, you know, like chop it up and then make it a little bit better. That's kind of fucking wrong. Right. But like if you're just doing it because it's a creative choice and it matches the themes of the show, then I think it's fine.
Yeah. I get what people are arguing with, like, oh, they could have used actual artists, but that wasn't what they were trying to do. They chose to do AI for a reason.
Yeah. And it worked.
It wasn't like they were just like, fuck the other artists.
Yeah. For me, so you like the episode overall?
I can tell what they're going at, and I like that a lot.
For me, I did not like the episode. I thought it was boring. I thought it was like monotonous, and I think that like there's really no plot. There was like a 3-minute explanation in the beginning, and then Nick Fury shows up, right? And Nick Fury comes in. He's like, "Yeah, I had to come back to Earth again." Blah blah blah. And then you like just go straight into action, and it's like, can we set up like what the fuck the scroll like us Marvel fans, we know exactly what's going on, right? Because like we keep up with fucking all the YouTube channels and shit like that, and we keep up with all the theories and the synopsises of what this show is going to be about. But if you're talking about just the episode itself and like it being a good episode, to me, I don't think it was a good episode because it didn't set shit up. That being said, I do like seeing Samuel L. Jackson come back as Nick Fury. He's obviously very good. I love Colby Smulders as Maria Hill, who we'll talk about later. And then the guy who plays Everett Ross, I think, is Martin Short. Yeah, Martin Short. No. Right?
It's Martin Short.
Martin Short?
Yeah. Is it Martin Short?
I thought Martin Short was the guy who is in...
I'm pretty sure that's Martin Short.
No, that's not Martin Short. Martin Short is the dude that does the Hulu series with...
comedian. He's a comedian.
Yeah, he's the comedian.
All the murders, only murders in the hotel?
Yeah. Only Murders in the Building.
The building, yeah.
Yeah. Fuck, let me just search this up. Sorry, guys.
It's Martin something, though.
Yeah. Martin Freeman.
Martin Freeman.
Yeah, Martin Freeman. So yeah, I like him. I mean, he's good in the episode too. I do like the theme of it. I like that it's dark. I like that it's like kind of a mystery thriller spy fucking show. Again, 6 episodes though. Like, you're going to need to show me something. You're going to need to give me a reason to care, because at this point in time, I do not care if the Skrulls win or not. I feel like they didn't set up the Skrulls. What?
They got into a car accident right there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, sorry.
Once again, these fucking guys don't know how to... This is what's the problem in this world.
People don't know how to drive.
I was going to say something crazy.
Yeah,
okay, what was I saying? I don't care if the Skrulls, I don't care about them.
Yes.
They tried to set it up as like, Nick, you and Carol Danvers said that you would find the Skrulls a home and you never did. And then they just move on from that. Like, give the Skrulls kind of more of a fucking, like, introduction in the first episode, because it's all about Skrulls, yo. Like give me a reason to care about the Skrulls too, if you're gonna make such a big deal about the Skrulls.
I get what you're saying, but I feel like this also could be all the shock and stuff was in the first episode, and they can build a story based off of it.
I hope so, because look, just talking about episode 1, I just didn't like it. It wasn't a good introduction to the show. Mm-hmm. That being said, episodes 2 through 6 can be fucking fantastic. We're just gonna have to wait and see.
I mean, I feel like if episodes 2, they could build off of what episode 1 and make it look better to you if you would like. But I liked episode 1. Well,
no, it's just the story. I mean, like, it looks fine. I feel like the pacing is fine. It's just, like, what the fuck is the story gonna be about? Like, you didn't set shit up, right? Mm-hmm. Why would I care to watch this for 6 more episodes? Is my whole thing.
Yeah.
Or 5 more episodes. That's my whole thing. Why do I care to keep coming in every week to watch the next iteration of this story? Because they just didn't set it up that well.
Yeah.
That's just me being a story freak. I mean, I love story, and that's literally what's most important to me in a project. I do like that they're doing this Secret Invasion with like a bunch of slow, darker kind of themes in this. But to me, for episode 1, it kind of just seems like another Disney Plus show. Like, it seems like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but Falcon and the Winter Soldier did it better. But they weren't labeling Falcon and the Winter Soldier as like this spy thriller kind of thing. It just was, right? They're labeling it as a spy thriller, but it doesn't feel like it yet. That's just my feelings on it. I hope it changes next week. It comes out Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That being said, I mean, I didn't really like it. Hauder.
When you say you didn't like it, though, what would you give it? Like, I'd say give it a 10.
For the episode, 5.
Okay, I would give it like an 8.
Okay, let's talk about some spoilers then.
All right, yeah.
Okay, so Robin Sparkles dies. Do you know who Robin Sparkles is? It's Colby Smulders. It's Maria Hill.
That's from what's it called? Robin Sparkles is from what?
How I Met Your Mother.
Okay. Yeah, no, I knew that.
How I Met Your Mother.
No, I didn't know. Her last name is Sparkles?
No, that's her like teenage pop star name.
Oh.
Because she was a teenage pop star in Canada.
Okay.
Yeah. So Robin Sparkles dies. I don't know. Okay.
Right. So to me, that made a lot of sense. I don't know why, but like, I think it was to show like how evil that leader of the what's it called Skrulls is, because they split up into 2 factions essentially. There's the peaceful Skrulls who just want a planet to live on, and then there's the Skrulls who are gonna take a planet.
They're gonna take it. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but the amount of action in the first episode was satisfying to me.
It just wasn't good action.
I mean, it was, because it wasn't like they were fist fighting in the middle of the street or on a train or something. This fucking guy was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna blow up the middle of a town."
Like, I was 25 minutes in and I was like, "What bomb are they talking about?" And then you finally get to that last scene. Again, it was riveting. Like, it was a good action scene, but I was like, "What the fuck are they even doing?" You know what I'm saying? So like, yes, in context, it's a good action scene, but the context is lost for me. Like, I don't know why you guys are mad. I don't know why Nick Fury is back on Earth. They explain it a little bit, obviously, and both of us know what Nick Fury is actually doing there and why it's so significant. But, like, in the episode, make it clear to everybody. Make it clear to the audience. I don't think they did that.
Okay. I think his new design looks really cool.
Yeah, he looks badass.
Especially because, and I think, was it Captain Marvel where you get the explanation of how he lost his eye?
Yeah.
Yeah, where he gets the scratch.
Yeah.
So that was really cool to see that he just not have an eye patch anymore. He looks a lot older. Mm-hmm. It's good because Samuel L. Jackson is old. It doesn't look good that having to have the fucking goatee and stuff. He looks really cool to me. I like his relationship with Colby Smulders. Maria Hill. It was, bro, that plays into the death. That was really a really smart way for her to die.
Again, I feel like me and you watched two different things, but like, I feel like they didn't even have that much like character moments. They hug, they talk for like 2 minutes, but like, I don't know if you were on Twitter also. People were talking about, man, I thought we were about to get like a bunch of character development from Maria Hill, and they just shoot her. Like, where did you get the sense that they were doing any character development?
Because it was like a leak or something that there was going to be the most character development from Maria Hill.
I get. I
She's
didn't
been
see
in
that
8
leak.
projects, so
Yeah, and to me, it felt like we had more of these connections in like Spider-Man: Far From Home with her and Nick Fury.
yeah. No, I'm saying it's like from the other projects, like seeing them come back together was really cool.
Yeah, I think it's cool. It's just that in the first episode, especially when she dies in the end, like she gets like 5 minutes with Nick Fury, and I just feel like it's over. It's like I don't know. I wouldn't say an over exaggeration, but like to me, I just didn't feel that connection either.
Okay. I do think though the one that's the most palpable and the one you can see the most is his relationship with Talos.
Yeah.
Yeah. It goes legit. Like it seems like to me like a brotherly relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You can see he cares for him and his people as much as like the other like Skrulls don't think he does. But like it goes as far as like even like cracking jokes at each other and shit. Like he's like I didn't even get to get my middle-aged shopping spree?
Midlife crisis shopping spree.
Yeah. And then
what did you get? And then Nick Fury's like the Avengers. Yeah.
Good little joke.
I really liked the line where Nick Fury was talking. He said like some racist like.
He called himself a slur, right?
Yeah, he called himself a slur,
Yeah.
and then Maria Hill was like, "You can't say that," and then he's like, "You can't say that." That was funny. I like Nick Fury as a character. I like Samuel L. Jackson in this fucking character too. I like the fact. Okay, I'll say this. Nick Fury, he does get character development in this. I like the fact that he's still kind of haunted from the blip. He's like going to sleep at night and he's dreaming about the fact that he got snapped away. That's good. That's a good character development. That's a good character building moment to kind of stretch out between 6 episodes. Other than that, bro, I don't know. Like I didn't feel anything when Maria Hill died. Did you?
Yeah. I felt like I just watched Maria Hill die. It wasn't like a super emotional scene for me because I don't really care for that character that much. I can see the people who like watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and who were like, because I think she's like the most. That's like the shit she's in the most, right? That's like the show she's in the most. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
No,
she's not in
that's
that?
Coulson.
That's Agent Coulson.
Maria Hill is
just
like
in
in
the
the Avengers. And
yeah,
she's like.
So people who are fans of Maria Hill, I don't remember reading her that much in the comics either. I could see them being emotional about it, especially because she only died because she thought it was Samuel L. Jackson's character.
So here's what my thing is. Okay, I will shut up about this stuff if next week they reveal that she didn't actually die. It was a Skrull, and that it was Maria Hill as a Skrull this whole time, and then that puts even more character for Nick Fury, where he's like, "Oh shit, I thought this whole time she was like, you know, like one of my best friends. Turns out she's a Skrull." And because I don't know if you caught it, but she dies, right? And she still has her eyes open and whatever, and the camera's panning up as she's like bleeding out. And it cuts to black. If you go back to the beginning of the episode, you watch after they die, after like 10 seconds, you watch them go back to Skrull form. So I wonder if they just didn't show us that yet, and we find out in the next episode that she's a Skrull.
Speaking of that, Everett Ross
Everett Ross, yeah,
dies in the beginning of the episode, allegedly. Yes, and then he turns into a fucking Skrull.
Yeah. I didn't see the significance of that either, because I want to know what happens, and like, you know, because apparently that was Valentina de Allegra, whatever the fuck her name is, Allegra de Valtaine. There you go, that's her name, from Thunderbolts and Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and stuff like that. Yeah, I want to see. What do you think about it?
I think it could mean a lot of things. How long has he been a Skrull? Because this could affect Wakanda forever. Because if he was then, I don't think he was, but
Yeah.
if he was back then, how many of them is there?
Like
within,
everybody in Wakanda was telling him fucking information. He was the white boy that they trusted, you know? So like he knows everything. What if he's a Skrull?
And then that access is then like that gives them access to the most devastating weapons because that's what Wakanda has.
Yeah.
I mean, they also know where Atlantis is and stuff like that.
Yeah. And the fucking vibranium.
Right. There's all the stuff down there. They now have access into the federal government because that's what Martin Freeman's character was. He was a federal agent.
Yeah.
They have access to S.H.I.E.L.D. If Maria Hill is Skrull. They're legit everywhere.
Mm-hmm. And I like the theme of that. I will say that. I like the theme that you don't know who to trust, and that's what they've been kind of building in the marketing. Nick Fury doesn't know who he can trust.
Yes.
So I'm excited to see the second episode. Let's talk a little bit about the villain. Did you like the main antagonist?
I forgot his name.
Yeah. I mean, look, you really don't get a lot of like his backstory.
I don't think
you get his backstory from other people, which kind of annoyed me. Mm-hmm. They're talking about he's like one of the most dangerous Skrulls, blah 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 blah. Like he's really mad that we didn't get him a home. And I'm like, cool. Can I like have some time with him on screen? For me, I didn't really get a lot of like.
Pull my headphones out.
Oh, for me, I didn't really get a lot of character from him up until like the last thing that he does. You know what I'm saying? I get his motivation. I can see why he's mad at the fact that his people don't have a home yet because it's been like 30 years since Captain Marvel, right? So I'd be pretty pissed too.
The thing is, I like the way that they're going about him being mad because he's not just going around. He is going around killing them and stuff, but the whole point is he's gonna have them destroy each other. Mm-hmm. So he's setting off bombs in different countries and blaming it on another country. Yeah. Which is a smart way to go about it because that's legit what happens. And like in our world, like, you know, there is like terrorist attacks and they're like, oh, this country claimed it. And then they're going to go to war and it's going to pull a world power into it.
If you remember in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I think her name was Carly, right? Carly Montague or whatever the fuck her name was, the main villain. Mm-hmm. And she was like being a terrorist around and she was like planting bombs and shit around other countries because after the snap or after the blip, some people didn't have homes, right? And I feel like it's the same kind of idea with I don't know this guy's name, but the Skrull, the main bad guy in Secret Invasion, and her from Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So if they're going down that route, I think that it's fine. It works, right? I understand what you're mad about, and I think that's what makes a good villain. And I don't know. Could he be the Super Skrull? I don't know. We will see.
I do think, though, that one of two things is going to happen in this. Because this isn't based off the comics, so I can't even give you a fucking guess at what's happening.
Right.
Talos' character, I think Emilia Clarke's playing his daughter, right? Mm-hmm. One of them is flipping sides.
Yeah, probably.
I think it's going to be Talos flipping sides, though. I think he'll join them eventually.
I think both of them will flip sides because, like, Emilia Clarke, she's on the good side, right?
She had a bomb strapped to her. So.
But she's on the good side. Like she holds that camp and that one. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. She is like I think she's in the middle.
Yeah.
Where she's not like
kind of neutral.
Necessarily evil, but she's not like helping Nick Fury.
Gravik is the bad guy's name.
Yes.
Gravik.
Okay, Gravik.
There you
go. The actual scene though, where he's like face to face with Nick Fury, and then he just reaches his arm out and like blows up the thing. That was like some evil shit.
Yeah. There's not a lot to talk about really about this first episode. Do you have anything else?
No, I'm just like they have a good path. Like they.
No, yeah, I see where it could go.
Yes.
Right.
I do agree that they need to build some like character development specifically for Emilia Clarke's character because you don't get to see much of her, and she's a great actress. But my thing is, she's been in really, really good like series, movies and stuff, and she's talked about how excited she was for this. So I know that there's going to be some character development eventually somewhere. Yeah, I just hope
eventually.
Yes, I hope it's very early on and it's like good character development. Like I hope they just take an episode to explain shit.
Yeah, you don't put Emilia Clarke in this show and like not make her one of the main characters by the end. So
I don't think you don't put her in Marvel and don't make her like a big character.
Yeah. We also saw Don Cheadle in this, just a quick scene. I feel like he could be a Skrull.
I don't think he is.
I feel like
it's one of those two, and I feel like it's the fucking president.
Maybe. And okay, so if we're getting into theories, yeah, that would make sense too if the president was a Skrull.
They could both be.
Because, yeah, hey, in Captain America Brave New World, right, there were some leaked set photos of a funeral for the president. And Harrison Ford is starring as Thunderbolt Ross. He is going to become president in that. So maybe this guy is a Skrull and he dies in this. Who knows?
I don't know if they're doing it this way, but do you die if someone like becomes a... You obviously don't die. They just take your... Like, they're just shape-shifting into you.
What do you mean?
So, like, when they become Skrulls, like, you don't always die. The president doesn't always die. But so do you think that they... Like, War Machine or something, the Skrull kills the president? Or do you think that they killed... the Skrull that's protecting like he's the president?
So okay, well they have like this little operation, right? Like Gravik and them, and they like kidnap people and then they put them in like, I don't know, it was the fucking like laser thing going in their head.
Yeah, that's wiping their memory.
Yeah, and then they take their memory.
Yes.
So they essentially become that person. If they did that with the president, then yeah, I think both of them just die.
So with that though,
so the president is dead.
Yes, what they did though, that means they killed, what's it called, Agent Ross.
Yeah, no, he was pretty much already dead apparently.
Yeah.
Whoever he was before, and whoever knows, or we don't know how long he was a Skrull. Yeah, he was pretty much dead. I don't think they're going to go down the route where there's like two of them running around, like one's a Skrull and the other one. Not for long, at least, because we saw Gravik turn into Nick Fury for a second, and
I mean,
that's
they can
who kills.
shapeshift. They can just shapeshift.
Yeah. They can just act like it. You know what I'm saying? But then, like in that case where that person was getting their memory wiped, and then they essentially become that person, I think that happens with the president, and maybe that happens with War Machine.
I don't see them killing Don Cheadle though like that.
No, I don't see them killing Don Cheadle, but like again, it could be that he's a Skrull the entire time that we've seen him, you know, and just like working in the background. Hopefully that's not true because he's having a movie, his own movie coming out soon. So, Armor Wars, yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of ways that they can go with this because it's a very intriguing plot that like you don't know who you can trust. And you have all these different kind of characters, and they're all connected to the government somehow, and they know a bunch of information. What if they're a Skrull? Like, what if they're the bad guy, and we just didn't know it? So yeah, I'm excited for episode 2. Didn't really enjoy episode 1 that much. Hauder?
I mean, I did. I could see that it's definitely like very spy forward. There's already twists and turns. There's backstabbing. There's double agents. You have good and bad spies. But then you also get the idea that from everyone's point of view, they're doing the right thing. Yeah.
All right, man. Well, that was our review on Secret Invasion. I'm pretty sure we covered all bases today. I think, right?
Yeah, I think we got everything.
Yeah, guys. So that's going to wrap it up for this episode 19. What we got next week? That is...
Indiana Jones.
Yeah, we still got to watch those.
How many is there?
I'm just going to watch the original 3. I'm not going to watch Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Which one's that one? Is that the last one?
The 4th. Yeah.
There's 5 then.
Yeah, this is going to be the 5th one.
Okay.
I'm just going to watch the last 3, or the first 3.
I'll try to watch all of them.
Yeah. Because, yeah, they say that Kingdom of the Crystal Skull isn't that good. I'm just not going to waste my time.
Are any of them that good, though?
Yeah, the first 3 apparently are really good.
Yeah, I guess we'll see.
Yeah. That'll do it for episode 19 of the Playback Podcast. Thank you guys for listening. Again, if you guys want to follow us and never miss another upload, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, do all that stuff. It really, really, really helps us a lot. And we enjoy doing this for you guys. So we also just love talking about movies. I mean, talking about anything really. And yeah, we're happy to do this. Episode 20 next week. Don't forget. We're going to be reviewing Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, and we're also going to be reviewing the other Indiana Jones movies. Anything else you want to say?
Nope. We'll see you guys next week.
All right. Wait, do that again.
We'll see you guys next week on the Playback Podcast.
Bye, guys. Have a good one.
Have a good night.